Hey everyone, Noodle here. Yesterday was a big day, season 18 launch, and we were live to see it happen. Fun live stream. During that stream, I bought all the ranks on the scoreboard and every possible item, except for power armor paint, so that I can review things for you guys. I was super excited to get and review the watchtower and the wall-mounted walkways so that I can replicate this look from Bethesda's earlier teaser. But after spending hours with both of these items, the tower and the planks, I am very sad to report that these walkways are a total disaster. Let me show you why, how you can actually use them, some workarounds, and at the end, you can decide for yourselves if this is something worth grinding for or not. Heck, some of you may even love the challenge of building with these. The look may be worth the pain. It's worth noting that while you get the watchtower about halfway through the season scoreboard on page 5, you don't get to these wall-mounted walkways until after you've completed the entire scoreboard. This is bonus page 1. You have to grind for a long time to get these. Or like me, you can pay up front and get them. Okay, so here it is, the watchtower. If you joined us for the live stream yesterday, you saw how excited I got over this thing. It is enormous and it's very attractive. The woodwork on this, the whole immersive look, it doesn't take up much space because it's just tall and skinny, but it's such a presence. There are multiple locations on the map that have similar structures. So as you build in those locations, most of them are in the forest, you can blend in very well with the environment using structures like these. So aesthetically, it's quite pleasing. You will also notice that you can't actually interact with it. There's no way to ascend, there's no way to enter it. You can glitch into it, I suppose. You can enter it in camera mode to see what's inside, not very exciting. Or you can jetpack to the top of it. If like me, you have a jetpack and you ended up on top of your tower, you will notice that the floor is off. I am standing there and I am hovering a few inches off the floor. That is because the floor is actually mapped to this lip border and not to the wooden floor. So already not very impressed with the quality of this tower. Hopefully, once we attach the walkways or the planks to it, it will be more interesting. So here we go. They come in 3 sizes. You have your small piece, your medium piece, and your long piece, as well as a different style long piece, and 2 slanted planks. That's what we have to work with. They appear as though they will glide on the surface, on the vertical surface, and you can snap them. However, very first thing that jumped out at me is that there is no snapping here. And before you tell me that the tower is too difficult to work with, I will also demo this on perfectly vertical walls, and I have tried it on every wall imaginable. There's no snapping on these things. So these are ramps, right? I want to ideally make this wraparound walkway that will take me to the top of the tower. So the very first thing I want to do is to have a walkway that starts as close to the ground as possible. And already I'm running into issues here. Lack of snapping aside, you can't bring this slanted walkway all the way to the ground so that it actually touches, and it doesn't actually touch the wall of the tower either. Now again, I'm going to let this slide because the wall of the tower is slightly slanted. This is an unusual object, so I will allow for certain things with this particular build that I wouldn't usually allow in my builds. We're going to give this thing a lot of slack. Keep in mind also that this is a brand new item. We haven't had anything like this in the game. Clearly Bethesda or Double 11 or whoever is designing this is trying out new things, so we'll take it easy on them to begin with. Moving on to our flat platforms, again, when I line it up with the wall, it kind of looks like it wants to snap, does glide up and down, but you can see very erratic glitching here. Like I barely move my stick on the controller and it's glitch twitching all over the place. It's super sensitive. I build a lot and I am very comfortable with aligning things just by eye. I'm very comfortable with merging things. This so far is extremely unpleasant to work with. Look. I move it 0.5 millimeter and it's like glitching into the wall and onto the sides. Each of these flat pieces has a post in the middle and it looks like it wants to pivot around that post, but it doesn't. It kind of does, but not in any useful way at all. Going up again without another slanted piece, I'm having a very difficult time actually picking a place to attach it. And in many instances, when it is glowing cyan, I am still getting the item cannot be placed, item intersects with another object, item is floating, even though it's clearly outlined cyan and it tells me that I should be able to attach it. I even thought that on this particular tower, they may be anchor points. It does have these pegs on the wall. Those are not related to anything at all. They're just cosmetic. So the name of the game here is getting it close enough and looking good enough. There's never going to be perfection here. And Oscap brought up an interesting point as he watched me struggle with this thing for hours last night. He pointed out that it's meant to be kind of sloppy and rugged and authentic to the wasteland and to the post-apocalyptic look. And I can see that being a valid point, but come on, it has to be within reason. Yes, I get the messed up post-apocalyptic look, but we can't actually line anything up here. It's very difficult to work with. It's quite frustrating to try to line these things up or to overlap them. Anyone who's a serious builder in the game is going to have a very difficult time building with these because you can't make tiny adjustments, you can't make tiny corrections. The second you touch any one of these pieces, it just starts glitching all over the place. Oh, looks like I put my tower next to a little tree and that tree is blocking my view a little bit. So when that happens, I like to take the little trees away. It's very simple. Just grab any floor decoration, any small item and place it over your little tree and the tree will disappear. Here, I took my tree away so that now we know that this attachment, this anchor point isn't problematic because of the tree canopy. It's actually just problematic. At this point, I am about 20 minutes into this build. 20 minutes from the beginning, from the base of this tower, trying to attach these planks. I have come to a part of a tower that's thinner and that has this little artifact on the side, this little architectural attachment. So yes, I expect this part to be a little bit more difficult. I was wondering if I could maybe build my planks around it, or maybe build my planks through it, or maybe I need to start from scratch and plan my spiral staircase, my spiral ascent better so that I avoid these architectural artifacts altogether. But I decided to stick with it. I see that I am able to sort of merge my walkway into it a little bit, but it's very difficult. Again, it's glitching and twitching all over the place, but I am being patient here. I am giving this thing more slack at this point because I know this is a difficult part of the structure. So we'll just do our best at this stage with what we have with these planks and with the overlaps. And it's not looking pretty. It's exactly like Oscap said. It's rough, it's messy, it's wastelandy, but I feel like it's too much so. Like there is the immersive look, there is the dilapidated look, but here too much is left to I'm just taking what I can get. This isn't designed by me. This isn't a choice. I'm just grabbing whatever works and sticking with it. So if I wanted to let this pathway go in a slightly different direction or actually design something for my structure, I can't do this with this building element. So most of it is just by chance, not by choice, and that is not well designed in my opinion. Finally, we are almost at the top here. The tower is very skinny, so our slanted planks will not work, taking us all the way to the top. I discovered using just the flat pieces as steps works pretty well, so that's my solution for the top of the tower here. And by the time I got to the top here, yay, success, I made it, I'm at the top. But I am now 30 minutes into this build, and all I want to do right now is just kill myself. So I decided I would bust out with my electric chair and do just that. But surprise, surprise, Bethesda strikes again. You can't even place items on this thing. I tried placing different chairs, won't let me. Tried placing other furniture items, wouldn't let me. I tried placing turrets because I thought, well, okay, we have a very tall tower. The very least that it can do is be a defense tower. So I was able to place turrets on the walkways. And I was finally, now 40 minutes into my build, able to place just one single turret here on the side of the top of my watchtower. You cannot hang lights in this thing. My other idea was turn it into a lighthouse, hang some pretty lights there. Nope, can't hang a light there. I was able to place 2 of my standing oil lamps in there, and that does look kind of nice. Now it's sort of a lighthouse, but a very expensive lighthouse. This walkway is not budget friendly. I had to use a lot of pieces to create this walkway up to a tower that holds nothing. I also discovered that it has a power connector. You can hook it up to power. So you can attach lights to the walls, like actual electrical lights or one of our posters that are electrical and lit up, and that will work. So you can decorate your tower with things that require power. One cool thing that I discovered about all of this, again, trying really hard, trying to stay positive here. One thing that I discovered that is cool is that I can pick up the entire structure and move it around on terrain so that I can line up that base incline in a way that it actually touches the ground so that we start our walk from the ground up and we don't have to make that little bunny hop to get on the ramp. So that's cool, the fact that you can just move the whole structure around and work with terrain. Okay, so that's the tower. In my opinion, the tower and the walkways together are a complete failure. I am very disappointed in this. I really sincerely hope that there will be a fix for this, that there will be an improvement for this. If not for this particular item, that a new version of this will come out soon that we can actually use. Now, for those of you who think that I'm being too hard on this item, let's try and work with it on regular vertical walls. This is a barn that also came from the scoreboard that I bought yesterday. I actually find the barn to be very attractive. I think the barn, they did well. I like that the staircase snaps to it very nicely on the front. The whole aesthetic of the barn is gorgeous. The woodwork, the faded paint, the fact that it's just like nice and open and boxy inside makes it very easy to decorate and fill with useful stuff. The barn is 100% a win. I recommend the barn. The planks on the barn are definitely easier to attach than on the tower, simply because the walls are straight and vertical. We don't have that taper, but all the same problems apply. There's no snapping between the units and there's no actual snapping to the walls, really. There's always that space. There's always that misalignment. And I don't think they intended for it to be that way, to replicate the immersive wasteland look. I think this is just sloppy design work. I was able to wrap this around in a path around the corner and up to this ledge over here. And it works quite nicely, but it doesn't really serve a purpose. So I'm on the edge of my building now. So what? I'm very sad to have to make a video that doesn't say anything positive about an item. I hope that this was helpful to you. I hope that there will be fixes for this item or a new item that is similar will be released that actually works and helps us build instead of setting us back. And you can decide for yourselves if it's worth grinding for or if there's a better way of using these. Like, I waited for hours before making this video and played for hours with this item to make sure that I'm not missing something, because it can't possibly be this bad. And if I am missing something, please feel free to tell me. I'll make a follow-up video showing a different way of working with these planks. But so far, I give it full thumbs down. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having a better building experience today than I am. I will be bringing you more item reviews from the scoreboard. I will make sure that the next one's going to be super positive. I'll pick a good one. I just wanted to warn you guys about this. I'm Noodle Pants, one half of Gaming Aviator. Please make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow us on all the other social networks and stuff. And the song that's coming up is linked in the video description. So for all of you who ask about the song in the credits, there's a link in the video description to the full album. Swing by and check it out. I'll see you soon, and until then, stay safe out there, Vault Dwellers.
In the heart of West Virginia, where the shadows creep and sway, lies a land of rusted dreams, where the brave dare not stray. Appalachia, oh, it's a treacherous ride, with dangers untold and no